Today, I'm going to be changing the oil in the 2024 Tacoma. I've got a little over 1,000 miles on the truck. I wanted to get all those little metal shavings and particles out of there early on. So, real quick, let me show you what I've got. Obviously, an oil pan. You need a 14 millimeter socket to be able to remove the drain plug. You need a filter. This is the part number according to Toyota. A very small little oil filter for sure. You need some oil. I'm using Mobil 1 Extended Performance. It's a 10W20. You need a funnel to put the oil in. I'm going to use gloves. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Gonna see how it works out today. You need a wrench to be able to pull the oil filter off and put the new one back on. And then I'm going to be installing a Fumoto oil drain valve. And what I like about this is you can direct and release the oil when you want to. And this is going to come in really handy because the skid plate I actually had to remove because I wasn't comfortable with the little hole that they give you to work in to get that oil plug out. And then of course the oil would drain all over the place on the bottom of this skid plate. I didn't want that. There's also a little door in the front, a couple of screws that comes off. That would work just fine, I think, to be able to get the oil filter out. So what I'm going to do with the Fumoto plug is once I have it in, there is a hose here that you can attach to it and direct the oil directly where you want. It is going to make oil changing much quicker and much more convenient, cleaner, I guess, in the future. And this I'll just put on whenever I want to drain the oil and then just pull it off. And there is enough room underneath there between the skid plate and the bottom of the engine and the oil pan to be able to go ahead and put that hose on. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get under the truck. The messiest part, we're going to pull the plug and hopefully drain right into the oil pan. Fingers crossed. Let's just see. Well, that loosens it up. Nothing dripping out. Now it is. All right, if it's too warm, you're going to see me drop the bolt, of course. Not too bad. It's warm, but it's not horrible. And I did get a lucky on the plug, or the flow, I should say. So it drains towards the passenger side of the vehicle. So if you're positioning your oil pan, if you position it towards the passenger side, you're going to be okay. And the only oil I actually got on the floor, on the cardboard, was the oil from pulling the plug over here to myself. So not too bad. Now, I'm going to let it drain for quite a while. I want to make sure we get everything out of it. And then we're going to remove the oil filter. Okay, we've got the Fumoto drain valve on there. It's pretty simple. You just thread it in like you would your drain plug. And then turn it an extra 1/8 of a turn. And that's it. You can see the black collar that's on there is the safety collar. And then the little tab that's sticking out right there, you would take that collar off. It just pulls off by hand, simple. And then pull the tab down. That opens the oil. Of course, I got the one that has the nub on the bottom of it. That's what you would attach the hose to, running it right into your oil pan to drain the oil. Pretty darn simple, and man, is that going to come in handy in the future. Ran into a little problem. The oil wrench that I have does not fit well, I'd say it doesn't fit at all, over the existing filter, this thing. And I've labeled it appropriately, POS, so I don't use it again. I guess you can figure out what that means. So I went to Advanced Auto Parts, and I found two that really fit on there well. Nice and snug and deep, and they feel good. This thing, it just didn't grab. It wasn't deep enough. I don't know what the problem with it was, but what a POS. So we're going to continue on. I'm going to pick one of these. I think I'll pick this one. It feels more substantial. And see if I can't get the old filter off of the Tacoma. I think this is going to work. It seems to fit way better than the other one. So let's give it a try. Oh, heck yes. Oh my God. What a difference. Now I expect the oil's going to start pouring out of here at any second. Make sure you have the right tool. I would test fit for a really good fit for that wrench before you leave the auto parts store, because it matters. Now I've got a piece of cardboard up there. Hopefully that directs the oil that's going to leak into the pan and not down the there we go. Look at that. It's like I planned it that way, huh? Just kind of let that drain for a minute, and then we're going to pull this sucker off and put the new one back on. Now, one thing I want to note, if you look at the part numbers here, you can see, and I know the one's upside down, but that is what Toyota calls for, and that part number is what was on the truck. Now, since the one that was on the truck, I assume you can use either one. And I think it's maybe because of production areas, I don't know. The one on the right says made in Japan. The other one, let's see, it says made in Thailand. You can see right there. So I'm guessing that's why the part numbers are different. Otherwise, maybe for some colored material inside, they look pretty much identical. So just something to be aware of. I did put a little thin film of oil, of course, on the filter. Next, we just want to hand tighten it on there until it makes contact. And then the idea is to turn it another, I think it's quarter turn. Let's see, let's make contact. Always feels like it should go away more than that. There, it's making contact. So, according to the box, 3/4. So, tighten the filter another 3/4 with a wrench. Well, obviously we're going to use a wrench. So, I'm going to say right there is hand tight for the most part. And now, I can probably even go a little tighter. Yeah. And now I'm supposed to go 3/4. I don't know how you ever tell 3/4 myself, but hey, whatever it says, right? So we're gonna go 3/4. I'm guessing that's about 3/4 right there. And then I just want to make sure there's no oil on here, because obviously once I fill it, I'm going to check to see if there's any leakage. So I don't want there to be any oil sitting there. So get that off. There, I don't think there was any there anyway. I really didn't have hardly any spillage. I think this is the best oil change I've ever done. Now, time to go topside. All right, time to put some nice new juicy oil in the truck. Before I get to that, I came up with a little contraption. This is a sweet tea bottle from Gold Peak, actually. You guys can see here. Cut in half, or cut down to the seam anyway. And it just happens to screw in nicely to the oil intake on the Tacoma. It's perfect, because then I can sit my funnel in there and it doesn't have to kind of wiggle around. And I wonder if the funnel even fits. No, it doesn't. So I would have to hold the funnel somehow to put the oil in. This little extension, which was free since I drink sweet tea, I like it, is awesome. Look at that. Now I can just dump the oil in there at my leisure, which we're going to do now. Oh yeah. Man, that's awesome. This makes life pretty easy. Wow. One of my better ideas, I think. This little screw-in tea bottle. Wow. That works perfectly. And with that, I've got 5 gallons in. You ever put 5 gallons in that, or quarts rather, not gallons, that quickly in your Tacoma? Now I'm just going to add part of a 1 quart container. Again, you don't want to overfill. You can always add. It'd be a real drag to have to take oil out. Although with the valve I have under there now, it would be much easier to do, but I don't want to do that. Okay, it takes every bit of 5 quarts, or 5.9 quarts, I should say. And if you want to see, here is the level I took out of the 2nd quart, and it looks to be perfect. I'll check it, of course, in a couple of days, but not too bad. Once you have the right tools, it's not too bad at all. Anyway, that's it. That's the oil change, the first oil change on the 2024 Tacoma. Leave a comment. Let me know if you know of anything that would make it even easier. I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.